The 1988 film Big is certainly a cult classic, and not only is it so enjoyable, but it's just a whole lot of fun and very entertaining as well. This movie does a great job of capturing the innocence of youth quite well. So the story of this one is that it follows a 12-year-old boy named Josh Baskin, and on one night during the amusement park, he comes across an ancient fortune-telling machine called the Sotar. So he makes a wish to be big, and during the next morning, he has grown into an adult while still keeping his tween personality. And from there, it's one of the most interesting films I saw from the late 1980s. There is so much that I had liked about this one, the acting, the characters, the music, and just how good the story is. All these elements come together to make this quite a cult classic. Plus, Tom Hanks had received his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, and also established him as a major box office draw because this film made over $150 million on an $18 million budget. The important message that Josh realizes is that it's better to experience childhood and not growing up too fast. And I really respect Josh as a character for that, is because even though he's an adult for a couple of weeks, when it's all said and done, he misses his family, but more importantly, he misses being a kid himself. Nonetheless, this is such a fun movie even more than 30 years later, and this is now one of my favorite films from Tom Hanks as well. I have to say, Tom Hanks did such an amazing job playing this character, Josh. Like, literally, mentally, he's a 13-year-old kid. But when you see him in the film, the way he acts, the way he, so immature, because, well, one night, he just makes that wish on that Sotar machine. He becomes an adult. And then he gets to go out into the real world and live, an adult life. He gets a job. He has a relationship with a woman. And I'm going ahead and point that out. This is a spoiler warning, but there's a particular point in the film where him and Susan have a sexual relationship. It's an adult relationship. Still isn't right. I get that Susan didn't know he was 13 at the time, but I can't believe something like this made it into the movies back then. I get it. It was different times and all. Now, the chemistry between Tom Hanks and Elizabeth Perkins is amazing. Seriously, every time those two characters are hanging out with each other, it definitely keeps the movie from being boring. In fact, to be honest, this movie doesn't have any boring parts. It's fun throughout. Now, Billy is an interesting character because he actually helps out Josh in a huge way. He locates the Sotar machine, and not only does he gives, Josh sound advice, but he's always hanging out with him. Nothing's changed between them except for later in the movie when Josh becomes too comfortable with being an adult. And Josh realizes he has to go back to being a kid because he can't stay an adult. His family misses him. And this is what this movie really teaches, an important message about childhood and growing up and learning to become a responsible person. That's what Josh tries to become, but it's not till later on in the movie where he actually learns that he has to go back to being a kid so he can eventually discover his adult self. Because he didn't think this wish would happen, but it did. And that's such an interesting topic about adulthood, or even growing up. It's something we all go through. It's something we can relate to. And certainly Josh, he's at a better place, I believe, at the end of the film than he was in the beginning. Overall, when it comes down to it, this is such a thoroughly enjoyable movie. Is it perfect? No. But does it have a whole lot of life messages about growing up? Absolutely. And certainly they still resonate with people even more than 3 decades later. I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. This one has a lot of heart, but what I question is the rating. Like, why is this rated PG and not PG-13? There are a few curse words, plus the moment between Susan and Josh when they're kissing, all that. I certainly would not recommend this movie to little kids, but everyone else could check this one out and just have an enjoyable cinematic watching experience. And that's my review of the film, Big. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.